Okay, I'll go ahead and get started. Hello, I'm Jordan. I'm your penguin friend. Tonight I'll be finishing up my game of Chill Out by Michael Klamerus, which is a single-player journaling RPG about a overnight trip through America. In last week's session, I got about halfway through. One thing that I really like about this game is that it's kind of stream of consciousness. There's not a whole lot necessarily that ties one event to the other, which I think is really nice, because that's kind of what driving on the road is like. So I won't bother going over too much. Maybe a couple of the things that happened, or as I was leaving the town that I started out from, I was met by a parade of people that I was not expecting, and they were all carrying encouraging signs, vaguely encouraging signs like "You can do it, you've got this," things like that. We passed through Indianapolis. We passed through we've passed through most of our journey through Illinois, and then we've just got, the lower part of Missouri, and this journey is, at least in theory, from Fairmount, Indiana to Memphis, Tennessee. I just forgot the map's not up on the but let's go ahead and move over to the screen where I have things set up. Okay. Yeah, okay, here's another good thing that I liked. I saw a vice president themed diner, where everyone dresses like a vice president. I saw some confusing roadside signs, like a confusing roadside attraction. The sign said, "World's best beat America from Midwest is what forever." I passed Gluttonous Gus's Fine American Dining. I passed through a city and saw the 23rd National State Bank and Loan and Cracker Factory. And there seemed to be a horse at the drive-thru teller window. But I'll go ahead and pick up the game where I left off, which is at 1 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock we have an event called 6 Hours to Go, Black Coffee Going Cold. You pull over to a diner to refill on coffee and get a snack to hold you over for the rest of your drive. So I'll draw a card, which will tell me what I'm getting off the menu. Okay, so this is a club, which means I'm getting something new, since I've never been here before. Okay, something new. So let me just make some notes here, type out what I'm doing. Maybe I'll switch over the music to something a little more drivey. I can't quite remember what I put on last time. You know what? This is fine. This is good. This is good music for this. So I drew a club. So I'm trying something new. What if they have some sort of just very strange combination? I was going to say a Greek taco, but that's just a gyro. How about a... Okay, how about a General Tso's steak with a wonton salad. That sounds legit delicious. I would eat that in a heartbeat. Okay, so we're at this fusion roadside diner Chinese restaurant, and at the other end of the diner you see the only other customer, a distinct looking stranger. I'll draw 2 cards, and that will tell me what I notice about them. So, covering up where I can see my... Okay. I've got a club, which means I noticed the discussion they were having with the server. And... a club again, which means I noticed twice the discussion that they're having with the server. I could work with that. Oh, and I also need to be noting down the numbers. So that was a 3 of club for the General Tso's steak with wonton salad, and then a 4 of club and a 2 of club for noticing the discussion they've been having with the server. So the other patron is having a long philosophical conversation with the server about the ship of Theseus, and metaphysics and the philosophy of identity. And this guy looks very polished. I would say it's not hard to tell at a glance that this guy is a professor or a teacher of some sort, and he is talking the server's ear off, and the server is listening while they're doing their midnight chores, cleaning the tables, filling the ketchup bottles, and the server listens for a while and then starts talking themselves about the same subject. And as as intelligent and formal as this professor's conversation was, this server is arguing rings around him. I think maybe I don't really have a head for that kind of discussion, so I'm not really sure what they're saying. But it really seems to me like the server knows, has given this a lot more thought maybe than this professor. And so for my entry, I'll put if they give out tenure at this diner, the server tonight would definitely deserve it. Okay, so with that, a 3 and a 4 and a 2, that adds up to 9. To get through the hour, we have to get at least 21 points. So I'll draw the next card. Which is the 8 of Diamonds. So that means we're going to see a sad oddity or unexplainable mystery. Sad. Let's say that what we found here is a okay, I pull off the road. Well, I'm on my way back to the interstate. I decided to take a few minutes to drive around, just kind of see the country roads. And so I drive around. I see like a little wooded area I want to maybe stop and just look at, get a taste of the night air. So I stop. I get out, breathe for a minute, and coming from this little woods, I hear some crying, and so I don't know, that's kind of weird. There's just sounds like something's crying in the distance, so I push in a little bit into this woods, and this crying is kind of moving around, but I kind of triangulate where it's coming from, and I stick my head through the bush where I hear it coming from, and on the other side, for the briefest of moments, I see this ugly little creature. Oh, maybe not so small, but maybe a little bit bigger than a possum. But its parts look all mismatched and stuff, and it's crying, and I don't know, something about this crying little creature, crying, I assume because it's so ugly, it really gets in my throat. But I only get a minute to notice this, because then it sees me, and immediately it dissolves into a puddle of tears. One minute it's a very solid looking little guy, and the next minute he just melts into tears and he's gone. And and it just, I don't know, it gets in my throat. That poor little guy just melted into tears. Okay, and I need to real quick put my phone on mute, because I heard it buzz and that's not good. Okay, so with that, we're at 17. That's a Jack of Diamonds. Which means we get an ominous oddity. Oh, okay. I had a good idea for something like this. Okay, so still kind of cruising through the countryside. Not in any real rush to get back on the interstate. Just kind of driving around. It's, you know, it's almost 2 o'clock. It's just a nice time to get out in this piece of country that I've never really seen before, and I'm driving down a country road, and I see something getting. I see a deer getting pulled into the corn on one side of the road, and I'm gonna say that the corn is pretty tall, but it's not like fully grown yet. And I stop for a second to watch this. I assume that a coyote has gotten this deer and is dragging it or something. But when I look towards the field, in the darkness, I can see something huge and hulking. Like I can see it above where the corn is, and at this point, the corn is like 6 feet high. So that that freaks me right out. And it is just dragging this deer. It's all I can really see of it is this little hump. But as I start to drive away in my rear view mirror, I think I can see this long, thin hand and arm just like reaching through the field, or through the edge of the field onto the road where my car was parked. And oh, that sure makes me want to get back on the interstate. What the hell was that thing? A long spindly arm. Oh, I've got to get back on the interstate. Okay, that puts us over 21. So next we'll move on to 2 a.m. Queen of Diamonds. I don't know, I feel like this deck isn't very well shuffled. That's on me. Queen of Diamonds. A heartwarming oddity. Well, let's think about something that might be heartwarming to see on No, I don't know if everyone would find this heartwarming, but what if I see, as I'm driving down the interstate, I pull off for a second just to take a breather. It's getting real late, so I've gotta be pulling off every now and then just to get out and stand up, take a breath of cold air. I see. Okay, I think I have a better idea than the one that I had. The idea I had was an owl feeding its child, but that would be up in a tree and not necessarily heartwarming. But I think what I see is the exit that I pull off on, there's a little I guess commuter parking lot, and there's an abandoned looking van there, and I see a deer and her fawn walk up to this, and the deer with her lips, she like pulls the door handle on the door to this van. And this is a pretty like broken down looking van, but oh, Harrison, hi, how are you? Curry, rice balls, and veggies. Oh my gosh. That sounds delicious. I had a chicken sandwich for... Ah! Yeah, I need to start listening to Night Vale again sometime. I think I stopped around like episode 100 or something. I'm not sure. I remember the place where I stopped, but it was a couple years ago. Yeah. But Night Vale seems like a an appropriate thing to have listened to, considering that I'm finishing my game from last week, which has some pretty Night Vale vibes to it. So the thing that I'm describing now is a heartwarming oddity, and I've pulled off on an exit to just to stretch my legs for a second, because it's getting late and I'm getting tired, and I just need to get out and get a breath of fresh air every now and then. But I pull into this parking lot on the exit, and there's like an abandoned van. Like the tires have been popped. Oh, thank you. Yeah. The having a map is a real help for me. And okay, I don't know how that happened, but I'll just make that map a little bigger. But so this like bombed out van that's sitting in this parking lot, I see a deer and her fawn walk up to it, and the deer opens the door of the van with her lips, like she like grabs onto it with her teeth, and she's able to like pull it open, and then like her and her like, I guess it's not yeah, I'm trying to remember if deer have especially like dexterous lips for grabbing leaves. I know some animals do, like giraffes. But somehow with her mouth, she's able to grab the door handle, pull it open, and then her and her fawn get inside, and Blem, hey. Thing's gonna be heartwarming and creepy. I'm going to say so it's nice that the deer was able to find a safe place to raise her fawn, but I wonder what's going to happen when the wrecker comes to take the van. So you said you guys had veggies. Did you tempura them? The next is Nine of Clubs. Oh, pan-fried. Okay. I love good pan-fried veggies. So this is the Nine of Clubs. So that's an encouraging nature, park, animals, plants, fields, farms. Okay, so I'm back on the interstate now, and I pass a field where there are farmers out harvesting. I'm not sure what season it is for whatever they're harvesting, but I know that these guys are working. If these guys can work through the night, I can make it through the night and make it to my destination. I love driving past fields where farmers are working. There's so much activity. And I don't know, just the lights of the tractors in the dark, and that's just kind of the only thing there. I think it's good vibes. So it was counting the queen as 12, and so with 9 that gives me 21. So we are on to the next hour, which is 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. and I must be lonely. And at 3 a.m. we have an event. It's called Radio into the 20s and Beyond. Trying to stay awake during your drive, you start flipping between radio stations. You stumble across a station you've never heard before. So I'll draw a card and it'll tell me what I hear. Spade. So that means a psychic hosting a radio show. They're predicting someone's future. Okay, so this is a call-in show that this psychic is hosting, and they've got someone on the line, and they're telling this person that though they have a long road ahead of them, everything's going to work out okay, and they're gonna make it where they're going. And the person whose call they're taking says, "Oh, that's nice, but that's not what I was asking about." But the psychic continues talking, and they start giving more details. And before too long, I realized that they're actually telling my future. And the person on the line is getting pretty annoyed, actually, that they're telling someone else's future. So they hang up, and I get freaked out. So I turn the channel. Was that psychic telling my future? Weird, but I hope so. It sounded like a good fortune. So, I change it to another station, and that means I draw another card. That's a spade. A news report describing an accident that happened in the area late yesterday. There is this report is describing an accident that happened at a gas station in a nearby town here in, I'm gonna say I'm in southern Missouri by now. And this accident happened in a small little town that I'm gonna call Taft, Missouri. And at the Lucky Dino gas station, which was probably an Esso station before those closed down. Actually, are there still Esso stations? It's been a long time since I've seen one. But I always remember the... Oh no, the dinosaurs are Sinclair. The dinosaur stations are Sinclair, aren't they? Esso was a gas company. I believe it was Standard Oil, but eventually they were just called Esso. But I actually think the gas station that I'm thinking of is called Sinclair, and I think that's the one that has the dinosaur mascot. Now that I give it a second thought. I've mostly seen Sinclair stations in the South. But the accident that happened at this gas station was... Oh, an indie? Huh. Yeah, I kind of thought that they closed, that they like didn't exist anymore, but I also have no idea. And obviously they do. So the accident that happened was somebody drove off with the pump handle still in their gas tank, and it almost caused an explosion, which they say is the most exciting thing that's happened to this town in over 30 years. In a small town, a thing almost happening is as good as something happening. So. What a close call. If that gas tank had exploded, it could have hurt a lot of people. Still, does a near miss really qualify as news? Okay, so that puts us at 7 total for this hour. Got a 6 of spades. One of the few spades we've had so far. Six of spades. That is a frustrating road sign or billboard. This is I think going to be a sign that directs you on a split on an interstate that takes you around a town. I don't know if you've ever been like around Fort Wayne, but there's 69 like goes right through Fort Wayne, but there's also 469 which goes like around the city, and it usually, well, I don't know if it does this normally, but when I was in college, they were doing a lot of construction through Fort Wayne. So they would always tell you to, they would tell through traffic to take the roundabout way. The problem was that doing that would add on like an extra half hour to your trip. So I want to say that here we find a sign that directs through traffic to go to like take this bypass road, but I'm kind of doing what the road sign says instead of what my directions say, and this ends up putting on an extra good half hour of travel time. Thought this would be a shortcut. Not so short. So 7 plus 6, that's 13. The Ace of Hearts. I think this is the first ace I've had. Okay, ace is spooky. Spooky roadside building. Okay, I pass a church that seems kind of out of place. I would expect a church here to look like a church that I see from the interstate. I would expect to look like a big mega church warehouse looking kind of building. But this is a big Gothic building that's just kind of out in the middle of a field. It is completely lit, and there's a sign that says, "Come to the Church of the Blood. You'll never want to leave." And I do not want to stop there. I've never heard of that sect before. So an ace counts as 1. That's 14. 10 of spades. A romantic road sign. Oh. Every time I think of a romantic road sign, it's hard to not think of something like the Sybaris in Indianapolis. The I guess it's kind of a love hotel or something. They're like suites for couples. But we could take like a romantic getaway suite. What if it's in Branson? We're not wherever we are. It's not. It's a place where people might turn off to go to Branson. So, let's call it. Mon Pa Johnson's Love Shacks. And the billboard describes them as a weekend getaway for young lovers. And maybe if I ever come this way with someone else, I'll stop there. With a winky face. Okay, so that puts us over 21. So next up is 4 a.m. and this night is just flying by. I think that means I can take a little more time to luxuriate in these. I guess a good thing to remind myself about is what we're even doing on this trip. So we're making a delivery, and I'm carrying a drab canvas duffel bag filled to bursting with what? I don't know. The person making this trip probably knows, but I don't. And I don't really want to define it because this game is about the trip, not about the why. But I think as I'm cruising along in my Dodge Dynasty. That's right. And I'm listening to some Cyndi Lauper on the tape deck. The wind blowing in my hair because I have the windows open while I'm driving down the interstate. And then if there was a camera, it would focus on the back seat where there's this duffel bag that it's not moving, but it just looks like it could bust at any minute. And I think that's kind of like the only indication we would get that it's anything special is that if this were a TV show, every now and then the camera would focus on it a little ominously. But it is a pure MacGuffin. It doesn't matter to me what's in there. But whoever the character, I bet it's pretty important too. $4 a.m. Okay. So, did you guys do anything today besides have a nice dinner down by the dock? Our first card for 4 a.m. Oh, the state park. Brown County. Yeah, that's a lovely park. I love it. I haven't been there for a very long time, but I went to a wedding there once and got super trashed. That was a long time ago, though. Our first 4 o'clock is the Nine of Spades. Yeah, well, they were serving free wine, so who was I to turn it down when I was like 24? Nine of Spades. So we get an encouraging road sign. This is a... So you're an encouraging... road sign. There's a billboard for a property development that's near here, and it's one of those, homes starting from 200,000. But along with that, it says you're almost home. And though I still have several hours of driving, you know what? I am almost there. I'm not going home, but I'm almost to the end of my journey. At least going this way. I imagine I'll have to go back at some point. I had to give I had to go to a meeting today and give a presentation. So I'm feeling pretty good about talking into a camera right now because I killed it. So this is relaxing compared to giving a presentation about lab-acquired infection. Okay. Yeah, we're going to start getting a lot of spades because they were not really in the first half of the deck. This is the King of Spades. Which is an exciting road sign. You know what I think would be really exciting? So I think I said that that I was putting this trip around like the early 2000s, and around the early 2000s, something that I would have been super excited to see, well, I don't know, maybe not me, but someone my age, if I saw a sign for a big auto rally and it said that both Truckosaurus and Gravedigger were going to be there, that would be awesome. Let me come up with some different names than Truckosaurus and Gravedigger. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Tyrannosaurus Rex and okay, so the word I'm not gonna write this word down, but the funny word I thought of before Gravedigger was corpse fucker, and I'm definitely not gonna write that down, but Tyrannosaurus Rex and Tomb Maker in one spot on the same weekend? I just might have to rearrange my schedule to see that. Okay, so with a 9 and I was counting kings as 13, so that puts us at 22, which is over our 21. So we are at 5 a.m. Dream time somewhere out on the road. The road is blocked by construction. You'll need to take a detour through a small town you haven't been to in many years. What do you notice about the town? Draw 3 cards. So we've got a queen, which it looks like there's been a lot of construction in the last few years. There's a 6. The high school always had a weird mascot. And there's a king. I'm shocked some of these businesses are still here. I feel like this is probably a place that a town that I stopped through several times with my parents on vacations, or maybe while we were on our way down to family reunions to see our distant relatives. And there's this tiny town. It's about 10 miles off the interstate that I have to take this detour through. So there's construction. I'm shocked that these businesses are still here. And the high school always had a weird mascot. I have a good, well, not good, but I'm actually sure that this story has happened quite a bit in all kinds of small towns. But my high school mascot was the Blue Devils, and when I was in middle school, I think some of the more religious people in town tried to get that mascot changed away from the Blue Devils because it was satanic. They thought all of the Blue Devil mascots are, I think, mostly named after a unit in, I want to say, World War I that I know nothing about, but the argument was just like, no, this is about some historical thing. It has nothing to do with actual Satan. But it was a hot topic around my hometown for quite a while. So that was a... Ooh, red dragons in a town that had ties to the clan. Yikes. Woof. There's a lot to unpack there. So we had a king, a queen, and a 6. Well, I'm glad that your town kicked the clan out. That's always a positive development. I think in my hometown, which is also a small town in Indiana, that I don't think there's anyone who would openly claim to be part of the clan, but there is still a big clan problem in rural Indiana. I would always hear stories about if you go out driving at night, bad for business. Yeah. It's sad that is often the reason that that things change, them being, bad for business. You would really hope that the clan would be kicked out of a town because the clan sucks, but often it's because people in the town are like, well, this doesn't look good, instead of, hey, this is wrong. But I guess there are a lot of ways to get to a better place. But like I was saying, I would hear stories of, like, if you go out driving out in the fields at night, sometimes in somebody's woods you would see a bonfire burning, and you would always want to stay away from there, because if they found out that you were anywhere near there, they'd chase you down. I don't know how true any of those stories were, but I believe that there were probably secret clan meetings out in the fields. Yeah, I remember back when I was in high school or college, they would occasionally have stories on the evening news about, like, a Klan rally in Indianapolis or something, because the state government. Oh yeah, with you two, right? Yeah, that's tough, and I think it's probably I think it's probably a good thing to have some awareness and concern, but I really hope that that's something that you guys never have to actually deal with. I mean, I hope that's something that nobody ever has to deal with. Hey, Ziver! Oh my gosh, it has been so long since I've talked to you at all. How are you? Ah. Are you still out in California? Washington. What? Washington State or Washington D.C.? Not that you have to say if you don't want to, online and whatever, but okay. That's exciting. Move up to where it never stops raining. Yeah, I haven't really had a haircut in a couple of years. Well, I guess it's also been like, I probably haven't seen you in like 5 years or more, so that's gosh, that seems like so long. Yeah. Yeah, and it's been 4.5 years since I moved, so it doesn't seem like that long. Sorry, I'm stretching a little bit. So the game that I'm playing that I'm getting close to finishing, it's a journaling role-playing game about taking an overnight drive across the U.S. and you run into lots of strange events. It's been very chill and very fun so far. And right now we got distracted talking about hometowns, but right now I'm passing through a small town I haven't been to in many years. I decided that it is somewhere that my parents that I passed through quite a lot when I was younger with my parents. Must be down here in this little tip of Missouri somewhere. And the things that I notice about it are that I'm shocked that some of the businesses are still here. It looks like there's been a lot of construction, and the high school always had a weird mascot. Oh, actually, I thought of a nice, good, weird mascot that's very in vogue right now. What if the mascot is the Roosevelt High capybaras? The fightin' capybaras. I think that's very funny to imagine a capybara playing sports, but the Wells. Yeah, there's a high school up here whose mascot is the River Rats. Oh, in Frankfort, Indiana, which is close to my hometown, their mascot is the hot dogs. I always thought that was extremely funny. A potato? That... I mean, I guess it seems more like an Idaho thing, but that definitely does seem like something that could be in like a weird Washington thing. I wonder I mean, I guess there are a lot of linesmen who are basically potato-shaped. So that could work. That honestly sounds very cute. Is the face just like on the body? Like I'm guessing that the potato is the like just like the entire body is the potato and the face is just at the top of it. Oh, or maybe it's more like a Mr. Potato Head thing, where its entire body is the face. Ridgefield. No, I don't. Sorry, I don't want to. Son of a crap. Okay. There's so much I'm still trying to figure out how to use with OBS, and every time I make a mistake, it's an extremely frustrating mistake. Okay. Oh, that's terrifying. That's a terrifying potato mascot. That's I would be intimidated by that. Okay, so the Roosevelt High capybaras. When I was younger, I never knew what a capybara was, but now I'm laughing imagining a capybara playing football. And that's the thing I'm gonna glom onto to write down about this town. And we drew a king, a queen, and a 6, so that puts us way over 21. So that's all we run into for that hour. So for 6 a.m., and we are getting close to the home stretch now. Oh, and I also need to add this town to my map, so. Let's see if I can draw a little capybara fella. I probably can't because I can't draw, but. Okay, that's not even close to looking like a capybara, but that's going to represent our capybara. Okay, so for the 6 a.m. hour, I've got an 8 of clubs, which is a sad nature, parks, animals, fields, plants, farms. Okay, I've got an idea for this. What if I pass a it's a, I guess it's a state park, and it advertises that there is a or to be more precise, there was yesterday a one of those flowers that only blooms like once every 20 years, and when it does, it's the most beautiful thing ever, but it's only for one night. And it's one of those types of plants where you don't really understand how the species can survive, because it's always only like one flower blooms every 20 years, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense how this species survives. But I missed that blooming by one night, and that would have been so cool to stop and see. And who knows if I'll be back this way again in 20 years, or where I'll be in 20 years. Okay, so a root-based bulb. Bulb. What's a good name for a flower that only blooms every 20 years? Maybe the Moonlight Serenade Orchid. What? A tulip's lifespan is 70 years? That's insane. I had no idea that's how long tulips could live. I thought they were like annuals. Oh, actually, maybe, let's call it the Moonlight Serenade Tulip. Oh my god, so it's rare. On average, it's like 40 to 30 years. Your dad has a 50-year-old tulip. Holy shit. I'm blown away. That is that's something. That is my incredible thing to learn for one day. Wow, wow, it was his mom's. That's super cool. Now I'm... Sorry, now I just gotta think about flowers for a little bit. I've got to process these flower feelings. Wow. Next card is... Sorry, I am just taking a second to process this new information and changing my worldview. I'll never think of tulips the same way again. So we've got the seven of spades. That's a confusing road sign. I know that I've already sort of pulled from this well once already, but I'm driving. I'm off the interstate for a little bit, and I'm driving through. I'm driving through I'm driving into a town, and I see the sign that like welcomes you into the town, and their town motto is, if you lived here, you would be there by now. Instead of the more standard, if you lived here, you'd be home by now. So if you lived here, you'd be there by now. And I'm not sure if that makes no sense or a lot of sense. I guess it's sort of tautological, like, where if you're here, you're also there, I guess. What a confusing place this must be. Okay, so that's 15. 3 of hearts. That is an inspiring. roadside building. Okay, so that includes tourist traps. And I think this is a good place for a strange but a strange tourist trap that that someone's put a lot of effort into, and beyond thinking that's like strange, it's like the world's biggest ball of rubber bands. Like sure, it's weird that somebody did that, and it would be weird to go to a building to look at that, but also the amount of effort that you have to put into something to make something that big, to find those rubber bands that keep expanding in size. That's a lot of labor, and something that's a little inspiring to, if you like doing something, try to do it the best that you can. But this is okay, what if this is the world's smallest, the world's largest ball of the world's smallest rubber bands? Yes. So it must have taken a huge amount of effort to make tiny rubber bands. But I guess when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So that puts me at 18. Two of spades, that puts me at 20. And the two of spades is a calming billboard or road sign. I passed through the tiny little town of Deep Breath, Arkansas. And as I pass that tiny road sign for an unincorporated community of maybe 10 houses, I take a deep breath. And by the time I take that breath, I've already passed through the community. But it calms me down because I know I'm almost there. Yes. Yeah. What I like about this game is that it's all very stream of consciousness. You don't really have to try to connect one thing to another, because that's not really like when you're driving, the things you come across aren't really connected to one another in any meaningful way. Just the fact that they're on the same path. So I like that you can just jump from thing to thing, and you can make it as chill or as weird as you want to. I think that's very cool for a game. Okay, and this is going to be the last card that I draw. So this is the Queen of Spades. And that's a heartwarming road sign. So I'm so this is on the very outskirts of Memphis, and I see a this is a sign that's advertising a it's advertising a maker space in Memphis, and besides the information on where this is and what it is, the advertising slogan on this billboard for this makerspace is "You made it." Congratulations. And I know it's not directed at me. But it sure does seem appropriate. Okay, so we're at the last step of the game. 7 a.m. Alone again with the dawn coming up. You finally arrive at your stop. Look at the map and reflect on your journey. What happens now that you've reached your destination? I think that the image I want to end this game on is our intrepid driver, tired as hell, pulls up in a residential neighborhood, and there's some very, very standard like ranch style housing, very mid-century. He stops in front of one particular house that doesn't seem all that much different from any other house. He grabs the duffel bag that's been with him out of the back seat. It still looks like it could bust at any moment, and he walks up to this house and stops for a good 15-20 seconds, and looks like he's trying to screw up his courage a little bit, and he knocks on the door. So I don't know what's in the bag. The bag is just a MacGuffin. He was on this trip to make a delivery, but I thought it would be better if what happens if what happens, you know, just before and just after the trip begins, it could have been anything, and I don't know. I like leaving that, like, all we see of this is the trip, and yeah, the last thing is him knocking on the door and the door opening, and that's the last of it. Yeah, I guess some of the ideas that I have about what it might be are, obviously drugs is always a thing you think might be in a duffel bag, but some other ideas I had were like, maybe he's dropping off like a bag of his ex's stuff, or maybe he's dropping off some memento of a recently deceased parent to a sibling. Or a bunch of novelty yard gnomes. Hi, Guardian. But I don't know. I kind of like leaving it like not really knowing what's in the bag. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the game here. And I wanna thank you guys for stopping in tonight. Ziver, oh, looks like he's no longer here. But I'll have to get in contact with him because it's been quite a while since I talked to him. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Do you guys want to watch something before I have to go to bed? I don't know what, but okay, yeah. I'll stop in the Discord here and after I get up and stretch. But thank you guys for